Here's more wrestling news for March 10th, 2022. And your headlines for this afternoon include recent WWE signee makes television debut, Oliver Luck and Vince McMahon legal battle update, Christy Hemme rejoins Impact Wrestling with backstage role, Rey Mysterio addresses Dominick getting a WWE push based on family ties, MVP working hard to get medically cleared for in-ring return, Jim Ross comments on WWE removing his audio from Undertaker Hall of Fame package. I'm excited. Ex-WWE star clears things up after a fan asks if he and Nia Jax are a couple. Rey Mysterio hints that retirement is imminent, and more. We're starting off with NXT Level Up, as the show has taped the episode which will air tomorrow night and will feature an interesting name on the card. Tomorrow, Ivy Nile will face Brooklyn Barlow, who is one of WWE's newest signings. A strongwoman competitor and three-time NQ NPC bikini competitor, Barlow only signed with WWE in recent months after entering the tryouts in Las Vegas last August during SummerSlam week. Barlow was one of the dozen tryouts who were offered a contract, and the fact that she's appearing on TV so soon is a big move for her career. WWE's newest strategy is to avoid signing indie wrestlers in favor of talent they can train in their own in-house style, and for Brooklyn Barlow, she'll soon be able to continue developing her skills while appearing on NXT Level Up. In April 2020, former XFL Commissioner Oliver Luck launched a lawsuit against WWE, Vince McMahon, and Alpha Entertainment, claiming he had been wrongfully terminated from the role. McMahon responded by saying Luck had shirked from his duties, which gave him grounds for termination, and the two sides could soon be reaching an agreement. EW Insider reports that representatives from both sides will meet for a settlement conference on March 15th in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and hope to put an end to this matter before it reaches the courts. Should these talks fail, the two sides will meet on July 11th for a trial, and with Luck seeking $23.8 million in damages, we'll keep following this story for further updates. Impact news now, as Christy Hemme worked for the company for years as an on-screen announcer and interviewer, and now she's back under a different role. Speaking on Busted Open Radio, Gail Kim said that Hemme is back with Impact, but in a backstage capacity, and was vague when it came to saying what the former Diva Search winner's new role actually is. What Kim did say is that she's pleased Hemme is back, and time will tell how Christy fares in whatever new role she has for the company behind the scenes. Now, Rey Mysterio is a true legend of WWE, having become a three-time former world champion, and has more recently been teaming with his son Dominick. Next month will mark Dominick's first time wrestling at WWE's biggest event of the year, and that's something his father takes very seriously. Speaking to Complex, Rey discussed any accusations of nepotism and explained that it takes more than the Mysterio name to keep Dominick employed. A lot of people might think that because he's my son, he's been given this opportunity. Yeah, maybe he was, but at the same time, I'm not holding him by the hand. He's doing his own work, and he has to stand out on his own. I can't do that for him. From his in-ring debut at SummerSlam 2020, Dominick has proven that he belongs in a WWE ring and will get the chance to shine this April at WrestleMania 38. For years, Jim Ross was seen as the unquestionable voice of WWE and called some of the promotion's greatest moments before joining AEW in 2019. Now working for the competition, WWE have distanced themselves from the Hall of Famer, as noticed in the recent video package for The Undertaker's upcoming Hall of Fame induction. Fans will have noticed that despite calling some of the dead man's biggest moments featured in the package, Ross is only heard from once in the entire 4-minute tribute. Speaking on his Grill and JR podcast, Ross admitted that it hurt him to be treated this way, as he pointed out that he always did his very best on the job and didn't walk out of the company. JR also questioned how WWE will handle some of the most iconic calls of all time, and questioned if they'll dub someone else's voice in for the infamous "He is broken in half" line from King of the Ring 1998. JR may have lost a step or two in recent years, but he's still considered the greatest commentator of all time by many, and WWE should treat the Oklahoma native with the respect he deserves. If you've been on Nia Jax's Instagram, you'll know she's good friends with Mojo Rawley, and the two appear together often in social media videos. The two are clearly good friends, despite Jax downplaying the pandemic and Rawley saying he was close to death after testing positive, and some have wondered whether Jax and Rawley are more than good friends. When a fan on Instagram asked if they're a couple, Mojo responded, making it clear that he's not just in a relationship with someone else, but they're engaged. Raleigh popped the question to his fiancée Grace last month, and while he and Nia are friends, that's simply all they are to each other. Or from that Rey Mysterio interview with Complex, as the Masked Legend is thrilled to be teaming with his son at WrestleMania, but this could be one of the last big Mania matches Rey ever has. In the interview, Mysterio discussed his incredible career and said he recognizes that it'll have to come to an end sooner rather than later. "There's not much I can ask for now. I just want to ride into the sunset. I'm making the best out of these last couple of years, and then I just want to watch my son's career flourish." Starting his wrestling career as a teenager, Mysterio has spent the last 3 decades in the ring and has paid the price, having multiple surgeries over the years. A Grand Slam champion with a legion of loyal fans, there's very little Rey has left to achieve, and fans should enjoy Mysterio while they still can, as his career will be coming to an end in the coming years. When MVP returned to WWE in 2020, the former United States champion had a handful of matches to his name, but hasn't wrestled in a very long time. MVP's last match was on the September 6, 2021 Raw, where he and Bobby Lashley defeated AJ Styles and Omos, and since then, he's been out with a knee injury. We now have news about his condition, as on the Wrestling with Freddie podcast, MVP told former WWE writer Freddie Prinze Jr. that his knee is all healed up, but now he's working on getting medically cleared to get back in the ring. MVP added that the original injury was a torn meniscus, and that after months of not using it, the muscle in the area has atrophied, and he's now having to rebuild strength in that part of his body. With Bobby Lashley expected to be off TV for the next few months with his shoulder injury, MVP's fate on screen remains uncertain, but the sooner he's medically cleared, the better chances are that he'll avoid the next wave of budget cut releases. And we're ending with AEW, as the company has gained a rabid fan base in a relatively short period of time, but not everyone is cool with the all-elite company. That's a lesson Matt Jackson knows very well, as when sitting down with Melissa Joan Hart recently, the former AEW World Tag Team Champion discussed the toxic fan base that exists among wrestling fans. In the interview, Matt said how his brother Nick had his bag stolen the other week and never got it back, and said that some fan must have been able to track their locations due to what they post online. He added, "Wrestling has one of the most toxic fan bases in the world. They're the worst. Honestly, there's a lot of good fans, the ones that love you, but the ones that hate you, they hate you." Unfortunately for the Bucks, there's a good chance they'll never see Nick's bag again, and while there's plenty of great fans who appreciate what they've done for the wrestling world, especially in the past few years, it's the worst kind of fans who are often the ones who leave a lasting impression. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.